Hi, and welcome to another video by Get It Done Home Repairs. Today we're going to talk about a Radon fan that actually stopped working. Now the fan itself, it runs 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It runs continuously, but in this case it just stopped all of a sudden and just doesn't turn on any longer. So I'm going to show you a couple of things you need to check first, and then we're going to go ahead and we're going to figure out what the problem is, and we're going to repair it. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go in and check the circuit breaker, and we'll go from there. So let's take a walk inside and see what's going on. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to come into our circuit breaker panel, and we're going to look to see which one says Radon. And as you can see, this one is the Radon fan itself. So this one needs to be on all the time. And as you can see, it is on. You can cycle it off and on just to make sure, but this one here is on. All right, let's go down to the basement. I'll explain one more thing to you, and then we're going to check it out. Okay, so this is where the fan actually goes down into the ground and up through that pipe, and we're going to follow it along just to see where our sight glass is located. And it's fairly easy, just follow the pipe along until you come across that sight glass right there. And this is the sight glass that tells you if it's working or not. And as you can see, you see those two lines are level. When the two lines are level, we know that the fan is not working. All right, so let's go outside, make sure the switch is on by the fan, and we're going to figure out what's wrong with it. Okay, so the next thing you want to do is we're going to follow along the fan itself, and we're going to find the switch outside. And this switch here, as you can see, it says off and on, and it's in the on position, which means then we have power running up to the fan itself, and it should be running. But just to confirm that, we're going to open up this cover right here, unscrew these 4 screws right here so we can see where the wiring is inside. And once we do that, we're going to take our non-contact voltage tester, and we're going to check to make sure we have power going into the unit itself. And if we have power going into the unit, then we know that the unit itself is no good. All right, so let's take that cover off and see what's going on. But before you do anything in here, make sure you turn this off while you're working on it. Okay, so let's grab our Phillips head screwdriver and let's unscrew it. Now you want to hold on to these screws because we are going to use them to put it back together, of course. Okay. Let's take this cover off. Be careful you don't break it. Alright, so we have our cover off. And now we'll look inside and we'll see our wiring inside here. We'll just pull it out just like this. Now remember, you have the power is turned off so that we don't have any kind of any incidents. Okay, so now that we have the wires pulled out, we're going to check the black wire is where your current is coming into the unit itself. The green is, of course, a ground, and the white is the return for the neutral. All right, so let's turn the power back on. We have it on. Let's take our non-contact tester, touch the black. And as you can hear, so we know we have power going into the unit. So now we know that the fan is actually burned out. Okay, so after checking it now, we see that this fan motor is actually burned out. Something's wrong inside of it. So the next step is we're going to get online. We're going to get a replacement fan motor for it. Once we get the fan motor, we'll come back in here and we'll swap it out, and I'm sure we'll be fine. All right, but before we leave this, we're going to put that cover back on just to make it safe. Again, we're going to turn our switch off right here so that we can put that cover back on safely until the new the new fan arrives. Now, when you order a fan, I'm going to order the exact same one, just so you know, but you'll need to know the diameter of the intake and the output, all right, just so you make sure you get the correct one to fit the piping that you have in your house already. All right, so let's get the replacement, and we'll come back, throw it on, and we'll make sure it works. Now, the way we're going to replace this, just so you know, we're going to come in here, we're going to remove this band here, we're going to remove this band here, we're going to loosen up this band and this band. You're then going to come up over here, we're going to slide this pipe, take this bracket off right here, we're going to take this off, slide this up, and then we'll pull this unit out. It's not attached to the house, it's actually free floating, just so you know, so that's what we're going to do. All right, so when we get the part, we'll swap it out. And just so you know, this is the unit itself. It's called Radon Away, and it's a GP501. So the first thing we did is we came in here, we disconnected the old pump, we slid it up and out, and we slid our new pump onto it, and the new pump came with new rubber sleeves to fit on there too. So we're using the new sleeves. Now we're going to take the wiring, we're going to connect it into the side of the electrical housing. We'll reconnect that pipe up on the upper part, and then we'll fire this up and we'll make sure it's working. All right, so let me put these wires in and we'll come right back. Okay, next we connected up our electrical wiring to the new motor. You can see we have it connected there. We have our lock nut on the inside, and we're going to connect the wires up white to white, black to black, green to green. Then we're going to push all the wires back down into that plastic piece on the side. We're going to take the new cover that came provided with it, because the gasket on that new piece is brand new. We'll put that cover back on, and then we'll be all set. And this thing is then trash. All right, so let's finish this up and make sure it works. Okay, so let's turn it on and make sure it's okay. I don't know if you can hear that, but you hear it. It's running, so it's doing its job. We'll go down to the basement and check the sight glass to make sure that that's okay, and then this job is done. All right, let's go downstairs and check that sight glass, and we'll be all set. Okay, so now we have it running outside, and as you can see, the pump is working, or I should say the fan is working exactly as it's supposed to. You can see the difference between the pressures, so we know it's working perfectly. All right, that's it. This job is done, and we're on to the next one. As always, thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.